thank you for wishing us all the best, all the very best, saying how beautiful Pretty looks like. I know. Mimi niko sawa. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you watching us, manze, from wherever you are. Welcome. This is the Deep Dive podcast with me, Rawlan, Omoto, and of course, Kama K, Kama Kawa. We are back with our very first episode.
Yeah.
How are you feeling today?
I feel so nice. I just feel good.
You feel good?
Vibes.
The vibes are good.
Yeah,
the vibes are good. Sure, say kid to just do an introduction before we just get right into it.
So hello guys. Welcome back to the Deep Dives podcast. Manze, you showed us a lot of love on our introduction video. That was so impressive. I want to thank you guys, and I want to promise you, or rather tell you that you are going to have more videos of us, and we love your engagement. So we hope that you will keep the engagement on the comment section. You tell us what you want us to do next. Yeah, because we need your ideas for us to prosper, right?
That's so true. Thank you so much. So guys, today, even before we get into a topic, I'd like us just to just quickly do a run through of this story. There's this girl that was recently rescued from Saudi Arabia. I was looking at the pictures on social media, and the pictures zilikuwa zina show her before and her present. Yani before she left Kenya to go to Saudi to maybe venture into kufanya kazi, kufanya nini. But then tunaonyeshwa the after picture ya saizi ame lose weight, anaka, like you can literally see unaweza ona kuna difference, the before and after, and all that. And I was watching a video on one of the digital platforms, and alikuwa anaongelelea how she was saying how she was suffering under her bosses, how she was being manipulated. So pretty, I don't know, what is your take on people going out, especially to the Saudi Arabian countries, kusik job, kusik nini, then after maybe 2-3 years down the line, we are here asking the Kenyan government, asking the embassy to come out and to help them. What will be your take? Because I say wanna suffer. Some even come home to be buried. They don't come back home alive.
Yeah, actually, I've had a lot of cases about people that go outside country. And do you know, when it gets to a point that someone has to go outside country to work, feel it's like in Kenya we don't have jobs and all, and they have to go there because they need to make a living. But sasa wanaendanga huko nje, but sasa the way they are received, or rather the jobs that they are given, it's like they are not good to them. It's like they're not treated well. The salary they are paid, they don't have like hawezi fanya kitu, they're like controlled, you know. Me, I feel like, for me sipendi, especially okay, if you're going outside the country to work, maybe kama uko na profession, a certain profession umeenda na a certain company, you're sure they're going to treat you right. But ikuenda you're a maid uko Saudi Arabia, they are really treated badly because you're not a Saudi Arabian, so they will not treat you like one and you're trying to like, unajua kuna ile unatry kufit in, but you can't fit in. So I feel like they're not well treated, and the government should like look into it. Yeah.
That's so true. And especially we have even private organizations that take them, that help them get to Saudi, and in between now wanakula pesa yao, and then wanawachanisha hivyo, so like they do not even have somebody to protect them, because remember they're humans.
Yeah, those agencies are very bad. Agents, actually people should work on those agents, because they're like the cause of everything. Because if you're going with an agent, this agent should be like secure. You should feel secured in case of anything. They can like protect you, because that's the reason you are under that
they
agent.
can come to your rescue when you need help. So pretty that ushers even, I feel like this conversation literally even ushers us into to what we want to talk about today.
Exactly.
Toxicity. Toxic. Meaning ya being toxic. What do you understand by being toxic? So baba man, tuanze tuna meaning before tuingie. What do you understand
toxicity? That word is used like ni kama saa zingine ni chakula ya kila siku to some people. Because when I hear of the word toxicity, what comes into my mind is negativity. Being upset, you're not happy. Because I feel like toxicity is when you're not treated in a right way. Toxicity could come from a lot of things: friendships, relationships, parents, and all. And it's so hard to realize that someone is toxic, especially if you love them. You could love your friend so much that you can't even realize that they are being toxic to you. Because sometimes ukiwa mabeshte na mtu, you feel like you're entitled to do everything that they have to tell you, of which no, you're not entitled to that. You have an opinion to say no. But sasa juu ni beshte yako, atasema hapana, lazima ufanye hivi juu wewe ni beshte yangu. That's being toxic. So when I hear of the word toxicity, for me it's like negativity. Because you know the scientific meaning of toxic, it is a label that is put on harmful substances that are poisonous. So, sasa trying to define toxicity in terms of behaviors, it's simply something that can be harmful to you, and it could leave you in a devastated state.
Thank you. You've actually brought something really open, because you know normally when people want to talk about toxic people is in the midst of a relationship. That's now when the word, this is a toxic boyfriend, this is a toxic girlfriend. But you've brought up about being in friendship. We can actually have toxic friends. I could be a toxic friend and I don't know. My best friend could be a toxic friend and I do not know. Because you know, sometimes human is human, you know. But I feel like there are people who take for granted, and especially if I think I've actually come across a couple of toxic people in my life, because you find the people they're so toxic but they want to use it against you. So like nile point here, they do something wrong, and then when you want to scold them, they now pretend to be the victim.
They never admit.
Exactly, like they want to take control. So let's say, for example, if it's a friend, amefanya kitu mbaya. So I remember I once had a friend who loved pickpocketing. And so one day we were going, I think tulikuwa tumeenda supermarket. I can't really remember, but we were quite young then. Tulikuwa tumeenda supermarket. And so this guy just decided to pickpocket something pale po supermarket. Akaweka mfuko. You know, kaiba. So sisi sino kila mse tumeenda super, kila mse tumeenda tukalipia vitu zetu nini, and then kufika kwa Korea nini, so tumepita vizuri. So kupita kwa machine kalia, sisi tunajiuliza rada nini. So mi kwa akili yangu ni, because normally I remember I once watched a video, kuna mse stick kwa kiatu, so akapita kafikiria nini. So mi nimejitafuta nini, we are like what's happening, si ndio? Because at this particular time tuko tunajua who boys alikuanga pickpocketer. So kidogo nini tumevurugwa pale hivyo na security nini. So after kufanywa search, this guy was found with a stolen product nini. But sasa sisi tuko like what's happening. So kidogo jamaa anaanza kulia. He just ana misbehave, he's emotional, he's like what's going on nini. And it was not the first time, it happened over and over. And so I came to realize that even the people closest to us could actually be toxic, and it's actually something that, and I don't know why, but I feel like the first character or the first sign of a toxic person is they love being petty.
Very petty.
They love being
full
petty.
Of drama. Tadhania ni soap opera. Like those people, drama always follows them everywhere. And I feel like toxicity comes, watu wenye wanakuanga toxic, they either have traumas, a low self-esteem, or they're using their behaviors to try and cover up something. They have a certain weakness, that it's so hard for them to reveal to the world. So instead, they try to be manipulative, you see, so that now they can like, because toxic people are always trying to defend something.
Yeah, they're always trying to, or like hiding behind something.
They are hiding.
They're just
something.
hiding behind something. Like they want to look like they're strong. They want to look like sema. But in beneath manze, it's just somebody hiding in a sheep's skin, in a wolf. Anyway, so I think guys watching from home, while you're listening, while you're tuning, we're just talking about signs. How do you discover, how do you realize somebody is toxic? I don't know, Pretty, if you also have another acknowledgement, or what is those some signs zenye you see in people who seem to be toxic?
You know, you see, when you want to know that someone is toxic, pay attention to how they make you feel, not what they say or what they do. Because how they make you feel, you know, if someone is toxic and you meet with them, by the time unachana nao mtu, do you feel motivated? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel positive? Ama unatokanga hapo una feel exhausted. You have sasa low self-esteem. You don't even like, yani una feel too unhappy. You just pay attention to how a person makes you feel. You will know whether they are toxic or not. Because if someone is not toxic, if you meet with them and have a conversation with them, trust me, you'll get out of there feeling so nice. You're not drained. But if you meet a toxic person, you talk through. Okay? Utatoka hapo kwa ile design ya sasa hata mbona nilienda shwali.
And I don't know why, but why do we always go back to these toxic people? I just don't get it, especially in relationships. Like you find like a girl,
Amelia.
but the next day you just see them holding hands, walking together. I do not understand.
It's a trauma bond. There's, you see, when you're in a toxic situation, there's that bond that comes with it. Nakwambia toxicity, that I think that is the ile kitu ngumu yenye unaweza acha, especially when now. Kwanza, let's talk in terms of relationships, because I think that's where you're in a line most. You find like you are attached. You know, toxic people, before you realize, it's hard. So maybe you'll get into a relationship now, say by that time they were showing you toxic people. They cover up. They are the best people. They
like
give
like
you
a rose flower. I'm
telling you. So like those people are the best. They are masked. Now after you've fallen in love with them, and now you're like attached, you have the bond and all, emotionally attached, you know, because if you're emotionally attached, detaching yourself will be so hard. So if this, you find out in the long run that this person is toxic, trust me, it will take you time to get out of that place. And by the time you get out of that situation, you will be damaged. You'll need to pick yourself up again. And I feel like toxic people, sijui wanakuangaje, they never admit that they are toxic or they have certain toxic traits. They always want to make it feel like you are at fault all the time. You're supposed to, a toxic person could do something wrong and you're the one who is apologizing.
Exactly.
Yani mimi na apologize na ni woman kosea.
And even they make it seem so bad. They make you feel so guilty that you end up apologizing.
Exactly, they are so dramatic. I'm telling you, a toxic person hata anaweza fanya kutoka tu mwende kwa grocery, a big deal. Kakitu tu kadogo kanatokea hivi. They're like, you know, wanakwanga full of anger, jealousy. If you notice someone who is jealous, they are dishonest. They like have anger issues. Those people are toxic. Because I feel like if it is approaching situations, you should approach them in a certain manner, calmly. Like kama kumaenda hivi sawa, let's sit down, talk, let's see who was at fault. But a toxic person
never admits.
They never admit.
Yeah, that's so true. Because now that we're talking even concerning relationships and everything, you know, and as much as I know bado sisi when you're jafika kwa your level, but surprisingly the people who usually come out and say I was in a toxic marriage, I was in a toxic my spouse was a toxic parent, was a toxic mother, father to my child, and sometimes I always sit down and ask myself questions like, okay, so you've been married to this guy for 30 years, for 10 years, you've had kids, your kids are in class 5, class 8, some are clear in high school. Now you're coming out and saying, I didn't know my spouse was toxic. So is it that hard for if mimi niko close na mse toxic? So is it that hard for me to actually see that person, how toxic they are, that I can even get into marriage with them, both children with them, and not realize it?
I feel like sometimes situations zinafanyanga kwa sababu when you try to ask someone why they are in a toxic marriage na wataki kutoka, they'll definitely tell you because of my kids. I want my kids to grow in a family that has
fully functional family.
A fully functional family. But someone that beats you, kwanza that is affecting. The same way these children will be affected without a father figure or a mother figure. The same way they are being affected when that husband is coming and beating you up. This hivyo tu ndo wanakuwa too affected. So I feel like, but sometimes we do judge. We judge people who are in toxic situations, but let me tell you, if you have ever been in a toxic situation, you can't judge someone in it, because our watu wanakwamba wametry kujidetach for so long, and trust you me, you have to detach yourself emotionally before you decide to detach yourself physically. So it's always hard for them. So if like you notice someone in a toxic marriage, in a toxic relationship, just go through with them, because it's like it has stages. There's that stage you have to overcome to go to the next before now you decide like you're fully done, because you know pia kama ulikuwa unapenda mtu, it's so hard kutoka tu hivyo once, because you'll be hurt, and as much as they were toxic watakuwa pia hurt, because most people toxicity inatokananga na childhood traumas. Maybe this person had a childhood trauma, and growing up they grew in a certain way. As in watu toxic, they always have a story behind why they are the way they are, and some don't even know they are toxic. So if you know of a toxic person, or you're dealing with a toxic person, talk to them first. Beware if they know they are toxic. Unajua kuna watu hawajui na kuna mwenye anajua. So if now you realize they know, now you'll like now start creating boundaries on how to deal with them.
So I could be toxic and I don't know.
Yeah, you could.
Wow.
I didn't say you're toxic.
Wow. Anyway, guys, there's something pretty said about being careful with about us being careful with toxic people. And I want to pose a question to you, and you could drop us a comment. Probably want to share your experience with us. You could share your experience with us. Have you been in a toxic relationship, in a toxic friendship, or family, in a toxic family?
But do you know parents could be toxic?
Allah?
Parents could be toxic. Ebu comment down below if you've ever had toxic parents, because personally I've had people, not even my friends, distant friends, maybe you're my friend, then you have another friend, and now you're telling me a story about your friend that has toxic parents. Toxic parents, unajua sasa kwanza kudeal with toxic parents is hard, because this is your mom, this is your dad. What can you do about it? You can't set boundaries for your mom and your dad.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I know there are toxic parents out there. Kuna parents who wanakuanga negative on their kids. Maybe walikupeleka shule, haukupass vile walikuwa wanataka. So like now you've not fulfilled what they wanted. Sasa wanaanza kukuambia wewe tunakulipia school fees. A toxic person is negative.
They start using everything against you.
Now parents wanakuanga entitled. You are an adult and they still want to make decisions for you. That is being toxic. Because if you're an adult, I believe you are big enough to make your own decisions. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't come into your decisions and tell you this one is not good or this one is bad. But they should not like control your life. Kuna wazazi hata mtoto wako 18 years and you still want to check their phone. Unataka kuangalia nini kwa simu hiyo mtu? They're 18 years. Definitely kuna vitu tu watafanya they don't want you to know. So yeah, I believe they are toxic parents.
Yeah, so I think looking at how do we now manage our toxic commission. You probability unaweza pata hatuwezi wafukuza. Hatuwezi wafanyia kitu. At the end of the day, they are who they are. And I don't know what solution we can give, especially to us. You've said something on setting up boundaries, and I feel like setting up boundaries is one really most important thing that if a human being had to set boundary, I feel like first of all that should be a red flag. That's a toxic person, because if you do not know how to set boundaries, if you do not know how to build a clear line of this is how far you can get, or this is how far you can reach.
Yeah.
Personally, I love my space. I always tell people, me, I love my space. And sometimes when people overstep my own space, it gets really uncomfortable. You know, because it's always the same thing when it comes to family, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to even us being ourselves. So I feel like the first solution, rather the first to pay medication on to toxic people is always set boundaries with everybody. You know, it doesn't matter what level they are to you in your life. Just learn how to set boundaries, because once you open up your boundaries and make it so open to everybody, then there are people who can now begin to overstep, who can now begin to like feeling entitled. You know, mimi na feel entitled kwa maisha yangu mse, mimi na feel entitled kuchukua simu yule mse niangalie. So the toxic people, I don't know why, but it's a conversation that we really need to talk about. It's a conversation that we need to continue to continue digressing one by one, and even the future generation. There are people who right now are in toxic relationships, toxic families, as you said, toxic friendship. But at the end of the day, I always say this, rather ningependa kusema hivi ni know your value. So unajua zingine naweza kuwa mse toxic, nawe si mse toxic, so tumeamua kuingia kwa relationship. But now you put down your values because you want to make me happy.
Yeah.
And now because I know you have put down your values, I can now begin to overstep or manipulate you, which is not a good thing. Ama, what will be your take in regards to overcoming, having a solution to these toxic people?
Personally, I feel like if that person is not your family member, Mimi, what I advise people, if it is a toxic relationship, you have really tried to tell this person, this and this character, I don't like it, cut them off. No contact, no nothing. Because trust you me, watu wamekuwa kwa toxic situations, you can ask them in the long run, they were so damaged. So if this person is your boyfriend or your girlfriend and you've tried talking to them, na hawasikii, cut them off. At whatever cost, wenda tu utahil, just cut them off. Now if they're a family member, that is why you have to set boundaries, because you can't get rid of your mom, you can't get rid of your dad, your brother and all. Now friends pia wezi get rid wote. As much as they're toxic, they could be good in a certain part. So now that's why you draw boundaries with them. Like there's a certain point hawezi vuka.
Do you feel like communication is the solution? Like you sit down with them and talk?
To toxicity? No.
It's not.
Communication and toxicity. Let me tell you, you could be unaweza kwa tu unajiongelesha. Toxic people, they are narcissistic, they are gaslighters. These people will use anything to manipulate you.
Wow.
Yeah, so I feel like just draw your boundaries, and when it comes to toxic people, just respond to them calmly. Unajua watafeel ni kama you are supporting them, but usiwaonyesha ati you are like responding with anger or something. Wewe ushajua mse ni toxic. Sasa know how to deal with them. Don't get into their reality. Yeah.
I don't know why pretty we're about to come to a close on today's episode. But do you feel like we could sit down and make this topic on toxicity a series? Because I feel like there's a lot to talk about. That I feel like we could actually see how we can invite people to actually help us look at this thing. Because at the end of the day, there's somebody mwenye amekuwa na experience ya toxicity. Kuna mse amepata hiyo first-hand experience. I feel like we could make this a series whereby we invite you who is watching us today to share your story. You could be there and you are confident enough to come out and say, you know what? I got a story. I was in a toxic relationship. I want to speak it out. And you be like, I want somebody to hear what I have gone through. So guys, I feel like we should open this space for all of them to be here with us. And then, I don't know, should we make it a series? Because if we're going to make it a series, then you guys better watch out. We're coming.
Yeah, we definitely have to put it as a series because you know it's like we've just done an introduction of what toxicity is, how you can identify those people. Now we need people to come and tell us what sort of toxic situations they've been in so that we can also get to know kumbe kuna vitu zingine zinakuanga toxic and maybe we don't know, you see. So yeah, I think that's good, opening a chance so that people can tell us the kind of situations they've been in, how you overcame, because that might also help someone. Maybe kuna mtu uko ako in a toxic thing, they really want to get out of it but they don't know how. So you coming out and telling your story might be an help to someone out there. Yeah. So down in the comment section, mstumie to comment section kusema wow, hot. At least give us an idea.
Share
tell
your
us,
story.
Yeah, because that will also give us ideas on what we will capture in our next episode.
So I think pretty tumemaliza.
Yeah.
It was a good one. Yes, so guys, thank you so much for being with us. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Deep Dive podcast. Subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Comment down below. And this time, don't just comment wishing us all the best. It's nice. Thank you for wishing us all the best, all the very best. Saying how beautiful Pretty looks like. I know. Niko sawa. But comment, share your story. We'll really want to hear from you guys.
Exactly.
What you have to say, especially now that we're starting this series on toxic people, toxic friendship, toxic relationships, toxic families. We want to hear from you because I know you have a story to tell. I know you could tell your story and somebody could feel, and as I feel, it is time for me to break out of this thing. So no.
Yeah, so this was the Deep Dives podcast. Manze, turn on that notification bell. Subscribe to this channel because trust you me, there's more that is coming. There's so much that is coming that you will really love and like. We're here to learn. We're here to grow since we are young people so that at least we can make better decisions for our tomorrow. So, bye-bye.
Toodles.